What TV show did you try really hard to get into but you just couldn't do it? The Man in the High Castle. I thought the premise was intriguing, but it lost me after a while. I even tried to restart it. Nope again. I actually really liked this show, but that's a great call. The whole time it just felt like it had so much more potential to be great. There were definitely times in the show where it felt lost. Been wanting to do a rewatch for months but haven't been able to do it. Arrow. At some point it got all weird, like out of sync, and I'd think I missed episodes and these random new characters acting like they'd been in it for ages. It did my head and I had to walk away. Missed episodes might have been the crossovers. How to Get Away with Murder. Started out so well and then just got confusing. It's like it's trying too hard to keep going. When will it end? Definitely didn't need to be as long as it is. It's like it's trying too hard to keep going. Welcome to Shondaland. Once upon a time, I just couldn't care about any of the characters. I should like it as I read fantasy books and I was a huge Grim Anderson fan besides. But nah. It worked okay until they started introducing full-on Disney characters. Then I was like, okay, this is too silly. They made some genuinely interesting decisions like making Peter Pan a bad guy, but at a certain point they jumped the shark totally. Fear the Walking Dead. The husband was the exact same character from the Mist TV series, which also sucked. None of the characters were likable and for a zombie apocalypse it was sure boring. This show was such a disappointment. I'm someone who's really interested in the build up and the initial chaos of the outbreaks. Almost every zombie story focuses on a group that's trying to survive after society falls. The show had some real promising ideas, too. Cops shoot zombies that look like, or formerly were, homeless people or minorities equals public outrage. Riots follow and in the violence there are more infections. The virus activates once people die, so they could have drawn out some real disturbing end of the world crap with a slow burn towards the apocalypse. But no. 3 episodes in and they skip time. Can't remember how much. To after the military has declared martial law. And then by the end of the first season we're right back to the wasteland era of the main show. Pretty disappointing. The Voice. American Idol. Other talent show style shows. I don't like the idea of listening to 10 minutes of fair to middling singers with a couple really good ones in the mix followed by another 10 minutes of ads. If I want to listen to music, I have YouTube. If I wanted to listen to live music, I just go to a concert. Also, I don't really care for Nation's Got Talent. I mean, the first few episodes of a season are okay because you get to see a range of acts, but it seems to always be the musicians who win. Personally, I don't think they should allow people who are just singers on the show. Like, if they sing while slacklining or breathing fire or something, that's cool, or even if they just play a funky instrument or an unusual kind of music. But if all they do is stand still on the stage, maybe play a guitar, and over-sing Hallelujah, there's other shows for that. It irks me. The 100. I tried, I really did, but I just couldn't get into it. Also kept googling the main character's name cause I thought there's no way she's not related to Reese Witherspoon. I lost interest in that show too, but something I will always respect it for is for how they handled the Mountain Men. Most shows would pull a Deus Ex Machina out of their ass to save the protagonists from the predicament they were in, but the 100 had the balls to have its 2 main characters literally commit genocide. If you haven't watched it, I know it sounds horrific, and it was, but they genuinely didn't have a choice. There were other moments too where they didn't back out of having the characters make truly gut-wrenching decisions if the situation called for it. I know I stopped watching, but I still have a level of respect for the creators doing that. Suits. It got boring at season 4 and I don't know why. Just thought it maybe focused too much on the drama, instead of the work problems that were what actually got me in the show at the start. Every episode was exactly the same. Oh no, we can't win this case. We're gonna lose the firm. No wait, here comes Mike with another Hail Mary. From the comments, I think we can all come to an agreement that all shows should just have like 3, 4 to 5 seasons, because after that, the introduction of new characters, senseless plot twists and crap is what turns people off. I hope producers in here can see it. 24. I really like the concept and the genre, but you know that name a character that suffered more than X. Mean? To me, it's Jack Bauer, every time. I personally couldn't commit to 9 seasons of one man's cycle of tragedy. I watched most of the first season. Initially I loved it, the premise was great, but by the time of about episode 15 I gave up when his daughter got kidnapped for something like the 3rd time in a single day. It just got silly. The Netflix Marvel shows. I absolutely love Daredevil, it's a little masterpiece. But for some reason I just could not get into Jessica Jones, Luke Cage, Iron Fist, or, due to not seeing the others, The Defenders. The first seasons of Jessica Jones and Luke Cage are good, but it wasn't enough for me to keep watching. David Tennant was the only thing that got me to finish the first season of Jessica Jones. All of the main characters constantly make such boneheaded decisions that it becomes difficult to empathize with their plight. 90 Day Fiancé. I watched most of an early season and was intrigued by the show, but when the next season started I just couldn't do it. I despise most of the people on the show and I feel dirty watching it. My sister loves the show so I catch bits and pieces of it when she's watching it. It just feels wrong watching someone's very dysfunctional relationship for entertainment. Honestly, the show peaked when Paul admitted he was an arsonist and then ran willy-nilly into the jungle, leaving the camera crew to get mugged at Machete Point. It hasn't really been as authentic since then, especially with all the spin-offs. The Walking Dead. How far can a show about killing zombies go? No matter where the plot with the lead characters goes, they are still trying not to become zombies while killing zombies. It's just a freaking snooze fest. That show should have ended around 4 or 5. I stopped completely after season 7 episode 6 or something. I felt compelled to finish it but it just got to be too much to follow or care about. Supernatural. First few seasons were seriously great, then it started repeating itself with more radical stuff and when there is like 15 seasons or something, I had to pull the plug. Girls. It reminded me too much of all the mediocre people I went to school with that were destined to be really successful because of mommy and daddy. Outlander. The constant back and forth between I am a strong independent woman wielding the knowledge of the future and oh no, I am captured by your evil but handsome brilliance and need to be rescued by my brutish and brooding hero gave my suspension of disbelief whiplash. Claire is the absolute worst. The rest of the characters make the show watchable for me. She picks fights for no reason half the time. Titans. I like crappy superhero stuff. Loved Arrow. Liked Flash. Loved Doom Patrol. Titans I couldn't get through the first episode. I liked The Flash for the first few seasons. Then it was just black. Surprised to not see Mad Men. It's my favorite show and everybody who I've recommended it to just is like I couldn't get into it. I scrolled so far to find this. I'm one of those as. I'm not sure what it is because it fits the bill of everything I'd be into. Young Sheldon shoots just a bad premise who TF wants to see a nerdy smug little kid not take a joke and thinks he's the smartest being in the universe for not playing like a normal kid. I hated the first season and was furious that the good shows didn't get a second season when this crap does. It gets better later when they move the focus away from just Sheldon to the whole family. Kinda weird that the main character is the most annoying. Grey's Anatomy. I can't believe it's gone on for 18 or whatever seasons. Grey's Anatomy. I can't believe it's gone on for 18 or whatever seasons. A lot of us who watch it have watched it since childhood and are now stuck because we want to know how it ends. Iron Fist. I'm not sure about this but I could not get into the second season. Bro, Iron Fist was so underdone. In the comics he'd plow through legions of Hydra, put down multiple enemies in a single blow and send them flying. Dude pulled out the dragon's heart with his bare hands to become the Iron Fist. Daredevil gave him his mask and outfit so he could take over, allowing Murdoch a small break reprieve. Also fought Shonkai to a tie. In the Netflix adaptation he's stuck brawling with a single thug heaps of the time and the fight scenes were like dances. Dude was weak. Bang Bus. The storylines were always the same and the cast kept changing so often it was hard to keep track. The Walking Dead. If 99% of the world became zombies, and every non-embalmed, non-decomposed, recently dead person became a zombie, that would mean that you should run out of zombies after about 2 years if each survivor killed one a week. Where are all of these extra zombies coming from? Great point. That is also mentioned in World War Z, the book, not the movie, which is nothing but its title in common. At a certain point, most people have managed to retreat to safer zones where are there relatively little zombies and everything is more or less under control. In the USA, that safer zone is everything west of the Rocky Mountains, while everything east is basically Zombieland. In the book, it's mentioned that they can play the waiting game until all zombies have decomposed, but the president decides to go to war with the dead anyhow to improve morale, and TBF, it did work. However, each year when spring arrives, zombies who got frozen in the north during winter start to thaw and need to be cleaned up. Every now and then a group of them walks out of the ocean, having scuffled on the ocean floor. I can't get into anything anymore. Watching TV or movies these days feels like I'm getting put in timeout or something. I feel the same and have been struggling trying to figure out why. I honestly think it comes down to the mass amount of content there is out there. When I first started driving I had a case full of about 15-20 CDs and I would listen to them, learn the songs, love them. Now I have Spotify with practically every single album ever and yet I can't find something to listen to that I like. It's easy to say that music sucks these days or whatever, but I know in my heart that there's no way all of these millions of songs out there aren't as good as what was on those CDs. It's just content overload. If I know that I have the option to listen to anything I want, then there's no way my brain will be happy with just playing a handful of albums over and over. In a way I feel like this is similar to why some rich people celebs are depressed. Having anything you want all the time can't be healthy. Anyway, IDK what to do about it. But that's my take. Man with light skin tone shrugging. Good luck man, you're not alone. Rules of engagement. My husband liked it, so I tried to enjoy it with him. But the characters were all awful, especially the little rich dude. The only one I liked was Timmy, but I couldn't understand why he stayed with such an awful boss. They were awful people with no redeeming qualities. I really like that show. It's not that funny but it had some great moments. I have to agree on all your points, the characters are terrible people. I guess I like the setting. It's a more adult comedy about friends. Now that it's finished I forgot it ever existed. The Big Bang Theory, it just reminds me of how often I've been a nerd with bad people skills. I was kind of fine with the first couple seasons, but they quickly backtracked on everyone being social outcasts and they all got girlfriends. Leonard was the only normal one, which quickly boiled a lot of the jokes down to relationship nonsense which every sitcom had already done to death. Then on top of that they were like, oh people really like Sheldon. Let's make it the Sheldon show, and he is Sheldoning 100x harder all over the place, to the point where they even managed to have a somehow more obnoxious spin-off. Twin Peaks. I understand it is a cult classic and all, but as a English as a second language person it's just too confusing. The show is confusing even if you wrote, directed, and starred in it. If you are new to the channel, you can subscribe. I publish new videos every day. Until then, check another video. Bye for now.